Okay, everyone, we are ready for class 3 of dining in. I hope everyone's doing a great job of dining in. But today we're going to get into the fun stuff. Now, for a psychologist, the fun stuff is all about our thoughts and our emotions and our behavior. So we're going to go through those things today. It's going to be really exciting. So today we're just going to review. So I'm on slide 3. We're just going to review some emotional eating related things, emotional events. We're going to go through some basic cognitive behavioral model stuff. You're going to learn about the basic inner workings of your brain. And we're going to go through a bunch of different fun stuff. So I'm going to skip down to number 5, slide 5. We already know that we have eating can be an emotional event. So I don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Now in the next class, we're going to talk about habits and how emotions can be a cue for that habit loop. Now, what we want to understand about the emotions is what we've been talking about in class a little bit already, which is whenever we have an emotion, we have several different things that we can do with that emotion. And what we need to understand is that eating is one of those things that can distract us quickly from that emotion, but also give us that dopamine hit that really gives us a buzz and changes that emotional status. So that's kind of how we want to think about things initially. Going on to slide number 6. Eating is an entertainment event. We'll talk about that. We already know this. Food makes every boring party more exciting. Alcohol does that too. So the question is do we really want to be at that boring party to begin with and just have it increased by food and alcohol? That's a different question, but we just have to understand how much food is integrated in our life overall. Now we're going on to slide number 7, the basic cognitive behavioral process. Thoughts and beliefs lead to our emotions and our physical sensations. Every thought or every emotion or physical sensation you've had came from your thoughts. Every single one, in one way or another. Then they lead to our behavior and our actions, and that leads to our outcome of those actions, and then our brain feeds that back in. That's why when we're having success, managing our thoughts, managing our emotions, leading to good behavior, leading to good outcomes, our brain feeds that back in and we have confidence the next day. So we really can develop that process very well, but that's what we're going to talk about. Basic rules of this that's really important, I think, is that the thoughts are the leaders. Your thoughts are the leaders of you. Now, the problem that we're going to talk about is that we have different parts of our brain. We can have this thought-based brain, the conscious brain, the big brain. Those are where our conscious thoughts are. And then we have the small brain, the old brain, the lizard brain. So we're going to talk about it in different terms, but that's really a non-verbal type brain. It's kind of got all these emotions back there. It's got automatic thoughts, kind of automatic things that have happened. It's kind of got danger signals from our past trauma or experiences. And we just have to understand that the big brain has, and this other brain, they have a lot of thoughts going on, about 60,000 thoughts in a day. Imagine that. And they're swirling around in there, and each of those thoughts can come up and have a wave of emotions that follow them. And that's what we have to understand about that. So we're going on to slide number 9 now. 60,000 thoughts. Really, that's what it means, is we've got a lot of thoughts. Now, thoughts are a lot like a flock of birds. You know, when the birds are all flying south and they're directed and they know where they're going, they're clear and concise, they're all working together. And they're all taking turns at the front. They're following the leaders right. They're staying in the proper formation to break the wind. And it's all wonderful. Now, when they're not in that formation, then they look like they're chaotic. Most of us do a very bad job of keeping our emotions going in the right direction, of really directing our thoughts that allow our emotions to follow along and take the lead of that. So we really want to work on our big brain, our conscious brain, giving our entire brain, all those 60,000 thoughts, really clear direction on a regular basis. And if we do that consistently, then our thoughts about ourselves, others in the world will be a really good place. Now, our big brain can control our little brain or our old brain or lizard brain, but it has to exert a great deal of effort, a great deal of energy to do that, because that other brain, that older brain, has more emotion and imagery and other things in it, and it's really rapid working, and so we really have to exert this calmness and direction over that to help manage it. If you manage your thoughts, you're going to be able to manage your stressors, and that's going to be a huge improvement for you. Now on to slide number 10. Just a brief discussion of failure here. I think that the definition of failure really helps us. It says the omission of expected or required action. That's something that's really important for us to understand, is that failure is about us. We're going to observe our own failures. We're going to identify that. And we didn't meet our expected action, or we didn't perform that required action. And we need to understand why we didn't do that. And sometimes we as a way to avoid failure, we just stop trying. And that's kind of what happens with learned helplessness, which we've talked about before, which is when we've observed our failures multiple times with things, we just stop trying because it hurts too much. Well, let's not stop trying. Let's try to figure that one out. So on to slide number 11. Again, the goal of these slides in this review is just to go through things quickly, add in the information that I will be adding in the class, so if you do miss the class, you're all good. See, that's why we're here. Now, how do we overcome history of failure? Well, we have to ask ourselves some questions. Why did we fail? What happened in the past? What action did I choose not to do? Where was that at? What knowledge was I lacking? I think many of us have talked about our diet. We haven't understood our bodies enough to have meaningful weight loss. We may have ate a certain foods or manufactured foods to lose weight, but we didn't really understand what we were doing with that, what our body was doing. Now we understand what our body's doing. We spent the past 2 classes understanding what our body is doing. So now we have that knowledge that may have been lacking before. And now was there motivation that was not present? Well, now we're going to talk about how to motivate ourselves as we're going along, how to manage those thoughts and get those going. Why did I choose to stop trying? Those are all really great questions to ask ourselves, and you should be the one that asks those as you go along. Now, I want to talk about impressive success. This comes from Greg Nitsch. He's the director of Family Health Center, and he is a passionate person. He really believes that we can do better in healthcare, and he really believed that we could do better in dental care. And he was the imagination behind our dental centers that have been unbelievably successful. I would call them impressively successful. And I was on a grant with him, and I still am, and he talks about how we're going for this impressive success. We're not just trying to be average. We're not just trying to solve a problem. We're trying to really impressively manage that problem and do it with all the best intentions. And that's what we want to do with our weight as well, is we want to achieve impressive success. Let's not go for just losing the same 20 pounds we've always lose. Let's go for something beyond that. Let's go for changing our body, for changing our health. Let's be impressive for that. So push yourself and really ask yourself the question, how much can I lose? Let me go for that. So let's go beyond that. That was slide number 12. Now we're on to slide number 13. What have we been taught about emotion? We've been taught it's some weird things that words hurt, that we should feel bad or offended when somebody says something about us, as if we haven't said those bad things already to ourselves. Holding in emotions is bad. I'm not sure where that came from either. Maybe sometimes we look at people who are holding in emotions and look at them as odd. Why? They may have just better emotional control than we do, better thought control. We have to go back to re-experience our traumas. Emoting has become an activity where we sit around and share our emotions about something. Where did that come from? How's that helpful? I'm just asking the question and understanding that there may be something better. I actually like the old statement, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Wow, that was nice. I like that one. Let's go with that. So what is actually true about emotions? We're on slide 14, which is you and you alone cause every emotion that you have. Your thoughts about yourself, others, everything, those are what lead to your emotions. No one else can hurt you emotionally without your full permission. And let's face it, I'm going to say it time and time again, you say far worse things about yourself than any other person in the world has ever said about you. Now, we want to go on to slide 15. We want to be our best cheerleader. We want to bring out our best. We want to be encouraging. That's how most of us get the best out of us. We say horrible things to ourselves about our body's mind and things like that. We need to change that. Treat yourself with love and kindness. Really, really care for yourself. We do not want to treat thyself like treat thy neighbor like thyself. We want to treat ourselves like we would treat others. Say good things. Be positive. Encouraging. We want to get our view of ourselves organized. We want to review our beliefs of who we are. We want to remind ourselves of the beliefs of who we are, and we want to help ourselves manage that. So ask yourself the question: who are you? Are you a person that gets things done? Are you tough? Are you a survivor? What are you? What special skills do you have? An example of how thoughts can influence things is our sleep belief. So I work with people who have insomnia. And one of the things that's consistently true about people that have insomnia is they have the thought as they're not sleeping going, oh my gosh, tomorrow's going to be horrible because I'm not sleeping tonight. And when I ask them, well, have you fallen asleep at meetings? Have you ever not finished a work day? Have you ever fallen asleep driving? They'll say 99% of the time, no, I've never done that. And I say, well, why don't you have the thought then that I'll be fine? Everything will be okay with me not sleeping, because it always is. And suddenly people lose that anxiety that was going along with those other thoughts that were preventing them from sleeping. What a powerful thought change. In a moment, split second, they've changed their thought. And so many of the people that I work with insomnia overnight are saying, oh my gosh, I don't have to worry about it. And then the anxiety goes down, and guess what? They sleep better. Thoughts are powerful. Go on to slide 17. Remember that every thought is a current thought. It is not a past thought. It is a current thought today. When you go back and think about the past, you are thinking today about your past. It is a current thought today. You are judging yourself. Be a good judge. If you're thinking about your future, it is a current thought today that you have control over, and you're thinking about that. On to slide number 18. Remember that our brain has magical things in it. Now I'm going to end on really kind of talking about brain priming. Our brain is not a ticker tape. It is a 4D movie theater. We can use what's called brain priming. That's my thought about how we start an engine. We prime the engine to get the gasoline in there so that when the spark goes off, everything explodes. That's what we want our brain to do. So brain priming, a simple example is we incorporate everything. I use the example of Stacy calls me and she says, hey Mike, you got to go home. You got to go get some chicken, one of the roasted chicken things at Save More. I go, okay, I'm going to take a moment to brain prime. I'm going to say, 20 seconds or less. Hey Mike, when you feel the sensation of your backpack, when you pick it up to leave, say, whoa, I got to get chicken. Get excited about it. And say, okay, I'm going to have to turn left out of the parking lot. So I got to remember to turn left. So I'll get the behavioral cues. I'll walk across the parking lot and I'll imagine myself. When I hit those rocks that we used to have in the parking lot, I'll walk across those. When you feel the sensation, say, gosh, you got to turn left. You got to go Save More. And then when you get in the car, you go, turn left. Feel yourself on the steering wheel. And then when you turn left, you go, gosh, Mike, you did a great job. You turned left. This is so awesome. You're wonderful. Now you're going to get the chicken. And then when you go into Save More and you grab the chicken and you hold it up, you go, yes, I got the chicken. I am awesome. This is awesome. You're rewarding yourself for that brain priming. Wow, I'm so excited. I'm going to get chicken later. Okay, on to 19. Consider writing things down. If you're a person that journals, write things down. Put pen to paper. If you're not a person like that, make yourself a tape. At least consider this openly, okay? And now we're in this, and remember those thoughts and beliefs. And now we are done for today. Class 3 in the bucket. Have a great day.